Hello, I'm going to read Information Technology, Exploring Career Pathways by Diane Lindsey Reeves. Hello, world of work. This is you. Right now, your job is to go to school and learn all you can. This is the world of work. It's where people earn a living, find purpose in their lives, and make the world a better place. Sooner or later, you have to find your way from here to there. To get started, take all the jobs in the incredibly enormous world of work and organize them into an imaginary pile. It's a big pile, isn't it? It would be pretty tricky to find the perfect job for you among so many options. No worries. Some very smart career experts have made it easier to figure out. They sorted jobs and industries into groups by the types of skills and products they share. These groups are called career clusters. They provide pathways that will make it easier for you to find career options that match your interests. Architect and construction, arts and communications, business and administration, education and training, finance, food and natural resources, government, health sciences, hospitality and tourism, human services, information technology, law and public safety, manufacturing, marketing, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM, transportation. Good things. Good thing you are still a kid. You have lots of time to explore ideas and imagine yourself doing all kinds of amazing things. The World of Work series of books will help you get started. Take a hike. There are 16 career pathways waiting for you to explore. The only question is, which one should you explore first? Is information technology a good path for you to start exploring career ideas? There's a lot to like about careers in this pathway. It's where the latest and greatest high-tech gadgets we all love to use are imagined, designed, and made. It's where computer apps and video games are created. It's where computer whizzes constantly find new ways to improve businesses and make amazing discoveries with all kinds of technology. See if any of the following questions grab your interest. Would you enjoy creating your own video game, setting up a website, or building your own computer? Can you imagine someday working at an information technology startup company, software design firm, or research and development laboratory? Are you curious about what artificial intelligence scientists, big data analysts, computer forensic investigators, software engineers, or video game designers do? If so, it's time to take a hike. Keep reading to see what kinds of opportunities you can discover along the information. But wait, what if you don't think you'll like this pathway? You have two choices. You could keep reading to find out more than you already know. You might be surprised to learn how many amazing careers you'll find along this path. Or turn to page 27 to get ideas about other wild pathways. Application developer. There's an app for that. For what, you ask? There are computer and smartphone software applications for just about anything you can imagine. Learn a new language, find the perfect pet, get help with your homework. Yes, yes, and yes. Have you ever heard of Google, Facebook, Netflix? These apps are so popular and so widely used that you may not even realize you are using a computer app. Other apps make life easier in many ways. For instance, the ATM, automatic teller machine, your parents use to get some quick cash are powered by apps. So are the shopping carts and all your favorite online stores. There are millions of apps out there, and faster, smarter, and cooler ones are coming out every day. The one thing they all have in common is that they were created by application developers. They come up with the ideas for computer and software applications. Then they design and program them. The work requires equal parts of creative talent and technical skills. Application developers typically have a bachelor's degree in computer science and experience in programming. The work pays well, and there are lots of opportunities waiting for future application developers. It's a field where you can develop fun and games and develop apps to solve real world problems too. Chief Information Officer. Maybe you've heard of a Chief Executive Officer or CEO. That's the person who is the biggest boss of a company. A Chief Information Officer or CIO is the biggest boss of a company's technology. It is the CIO's job to make sure that every employee in the company has the technology tools and knowledge to do their jobs as efficiently as possible. This, of course, involves making decisions about what types of technology the company will use. MacBooks or PCs, laptops or desktops. It can be tempting to bring in all the latest gizmos and gadgets, but a CIO has to make smart decisions about what it really takes to get the job done. Busting the budget to buy new laptops just because they come in cool colors doesn't cut it. An even bigger part of a CIO's job is figuring out the best ways for the company to use technology. CIOs make decisions about the systems and software a company uses. They figure out ways to use those systems and that software to make the business run smoothly and successfully. They also make sure that employees know how to use these resources in ways that make their jobs easier. Data scientists. Big data is big. Some experts say that more data has been created in the past 2 years than in the entire previous history of the human race. Now that's big data. Data, by the way, is bits of information. For instance, when you go online to Netflix and download movies and binge on favorite TV shows, you leave behind bits of information about your choices. Multiply this by the millions of people who use Netflix, and you have millions of bits of data. And presto, you have an example of big data. Netflix uses this data to make decisions about what kinds of shows to offer to its customers. So what's the big deal about big data? Data scientists use big data to help businesses do a better job of whatever it is that they do. Sports teams use it to analyze athletes' performances. Retail stores use it to market products to their customers. Health researchers use it to search for causes of and cures for diseases. The potential for big data is huge. It is up to data scientists to find meaning in all the data and help others figure out how to use it in helpful ways. They use statistics, algorithms, and computer modeling to analyze data and make sense of it. Data scientists must have strong software, engineering, and analytical skills. E-commerce manager. There was a time when, if you wanted to buy something, you had to go to an actual store to get it. Technology has changed all of that. Now, people can shop in stores located all over the world from the comfort of their own homes. All they need is an internet connection and a credit card. This is called e-commerce. E-commerce managers make these online shopping experiences happen. These tech-savvy professionals do some of the same things that the managers of brick and mortar stores at your local mall do. Running a store in cyberspace brings different kinds of responsibilities too. First, e-commerce managers must get their online stores up and running. They have to make the website look good, run smoothly, and be a safe place for customers to make purchases. Speaking of customers, a big part of an e-commerce manager's job is attracting them to the website with attention-grabbing social media marketing. Then it's all about getting those customers to come back for more great products and excellent customer service. Cha-ching. Help desk analyst. Have you ever tried to explain how to use a computer or smartphone to your parents or grandparents? If so, you can understand the communication skills and oodles of patience it takes to explain something complicated to someone who is kind of clueless. Take that situation and make it a couple thousand times more complicated. Then you'll have an idea of what help desk analysts do. Some work directly with consumers, like your parents or grandparents, helping them figure out how to use a specific computer program or technology tool. In some cases, they can actually get into a consumer's computer system and work out problems from a distance. In other cases, help desk analysts work with business clients to help them operate entire software systems. Their job is to identify problems and work out solutions. Glitches happen and people make mistakes. A help desk analyst has to know a lot about computers to identify the source of the problem. It's like being a computer expert, technology teacher, and troubleshooter all wrapped up in one. Help desk analysts don't wear capes and tights like other superheroes, but they save the day for many technology users. Information security officer. Information security officers are like cyber cops. Instead of using handcuffs and sirens, they use computer knowledge and detection skills to solve and stop cyber crimes. Millions of people have personal information online. This includes financial information like bank accounts and credit cards. Businesses of all sizes have trade secrets and business data online. Governments use computers to store and communicate all kinds of super sensitive information. Vital community services like hospitals, power plants, and 911 systems rely on computer systems to do their important work. When this sensitive information gets into the wrong hands, it can cause big problems. It doesn't matter if it's an individual or a government agency. Money can be lost. Secrets leak. Services messed up. In some cases, it can put people's lives at risk. Hackers are one of the biggest threats to computer safety. Hackers are people who secretly get access to a computer system in order to get information and cause damage. Information security officers track down hackers and shut them down. They create firewalls and install security software to keep information safe. They also monitor networks to identify attacks and respond to alerts. Systems analysts. Systems analysts are experts in both computers and business. Their first job is to understand their clients' or employer's business. Their second job is to use the best technologies, software, hardware, and networks to help the business succeed. System analysts work for all kinds of businesses in all kinds of fields, including information technology, also known as IT, science, healthcare, and banking. In fact, so many businesses need their help that the United States Department of Labor says there will be lots of jobs for systems analysts in the future. System analysts rank high on many lists of best IT jobs. That's because the job pays well. is low stress and offer lots of opportunities. Sounds like a great job. System analysts do for businesses what doctors do for sick patients. Doctors figure out why their patients are unhealthy and recommend ways to make them healthy again. System analysts figure out how businesses work and recommend ways to make them work even better. There is quite a bit of variety in the types of tasks that systems analysts do, so there is little chance of getting bored on the job. Preparing for this type of work requires a bachelor's degree in information science. It also helps to go on to acquire a master's degree in business administration. That way, you have both the computer and business knowledge you need to do an amazing job. Video game designer. You mean people get paid to play video games? Well, someone has to create all those cool Xbox games you love to play on computers, smartphones, and TVs. Those lucky someones are video game designers. Video game designers are part of a team that creates and develops video games. On the creative side, they come up with the game idea and rules. The team also creates the game's characters, setting, and story. Then comes the technical part, where programmers write code and use special computer software to script out the commands that create the action. It can take months and even years to create complex video games. Some of the most popular, like Minecraft, Wii Sports, and Super Mario Bros., cost millions of dollars and enormous amounts of talent to produce. Video game designers usually need a college degree in video game design or computer science. Future video game designers like you can start getting ready by taking computer programming and graphic design courses. You can also explain that your constant desire to play video games is actually career research. At least you can try to convince your parents or teachers that's why you play so many games. There's no guarantee that anyone would buy the excuse. Wow, big list. Take a look at some of the different kinds of jobs people do in the information technology pathway. Wow. Some of these job titles will be familiar to you. Others will be so unfamiliar that you will scratch your head and say, huh? Find a job title that makes you curious. Type the name of the job into your favorite internet search engine and find out more about the people who have that job. And think about these 3 questions when you're doing it. What do they do? Where do they work? How much training do they need to do this job? Would you enjoy? Can you imagine? Are you curious about? Explore some more. The information technology pathway is only one of 16 career pathways that hold exciting options for your future. Take a look at the other 15 to figure out where to start exploring next. Architecture and construction. Would you enjoy making things with Legos, building a tree house or birdhouse, or designing the world's best skate park? Can you imagine someday working at a construction site, a design firm, or a building company? Are you curious about what civil engineers, demolition technicians, heavy equipment operation, landscape architects, or urban planners do? Arts and communications. Would you enjoy drawing your own cartoons, using your smartphone to make a movie, or writing articles for the student newspaper? Can you imagine someday working at a Hollywood movie studio, a publishing company, or a television news station? Are you curious about what actors, bloggers, graphic designers, museum curators, or writers do? Business and administration. Would you enjoy playing Monopoly, being the boss of your favorite club or team, or starting your own business? Can you imagine someday working at a big corporate headquarters, government agency, or international business center? Are you curious about what brand managers, chief executive officer, e-commerce analysts, entrepreneurs, or purchasing agents do? Education and training. Would you enjoy babysitting, teaching your grandparents how to use a computer, or running a summer camp for neighborhood kids in your backyard? Can you imagine someday working at a college counseling center, corporate training center, or school? Are you curious about what animal trainers, coaches, college professors, guidance counselors, or principals do? Finance. Would you enjoy earning and saving money, being the class treasurer, or playing the stock market game? Can you imagine someday working at an accounting firm, bank, or Wall Street stock exchange? Are you curious about what accountants, bankers, fraud investigators, property managers, or stockbrokers do? Food and natural resources. Would you enjoy exploring nature, growing your own garden, or setting up a recycling center at your school? Can you imagine someday working at a national park, raising crops in a city farm, or studying food in a laboratory? Are you curious about what landscape architects, chefs, food scientists, environmental engineers, or forest rangers do? Government. Would you enjoy reading about U.S. presidents, running for student council, or helping a favorite candidate win an election? Can you imagine someday working at a chamber of commerce, government agency, or law firm? Are you curious about what mayors, customs agents, federal special agents, intelligence analysts, or politicians do? Health sciences. Would you enjoy nursing a sick pet back to health, dissecting animals in a science lab, or helping the school coach run a sports clinic? Can you imagine someday working at a dental office, hospital, or veterinary clinic? Are you curious about what art therapists, doctors, dentists, pharmacists, and veterinarians do? Hospitality and tourism. Would you enjoy traveling, sightseeing, or meeting people from other countries? Can you imagine someday working at a convention center, resort, or travel agency? Are you curious about what convention planners, golf pros, tour guides, resort managers, or wedding planners do? Human services. Would you enjoy showing a new kid around your school, organizing a neighborhood food drive, or being a peer mediator? Can you imagine someday working at an elder care center, fitness center, or mental health center? Are you curious about what elders care centers, directors, hairstylists, personal trainers, psychologists, or religious leaders do? Law and public safety. Would you enjoy working on the school safety patrol, participating in a mock court trial at school, or coming up with a fire escape plan for your home? Can you imagine someday working at a cyber security company, fire station, police department, or prison? Are you curious about what animal control officers, coroners, detectives, firefighters, or park rangers do? Manufacturing. Would you enjoy figuring out how things are made, competing in a robotic building contest, or putting model airplanes together? Can you imagine someday working at a high-tech manufacturing plant, engineering firm, or global logistics company? Are you curious about what chemical engineers, industrial designers, supply chain managers, robotics technologists, or welders do? Marketing. Would you enjoy keeping up with the latest fashion trends, picking favorite TV commercials, doing Super Bowl games, or making posters for a favorite school club? Can you imagine someday working at an advertising agency, corporate marketing department, or retail store? Are you curious about what creative directors, market researchers, media buyers, retail store managers, and social media consultants do? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM. Would you enjoy concocting experiments in a science lab, trying out the latest smartphone, or taking advanced math classes? Can you imagine someday working in a science laboratory, engineering firm, or research and development center? Are you curious about what aeronautical engineers, ecologists, statisticians, oceanographers, or zoologists do? Transportation. Would you enjoy taking pilot or sailing lessons, watching a NASA rocket launch, or helping out in the school carpool lane? Can you imagine someday working at an airport, mass transit system, or shipping port? Are you curious about what air traffic controllers, flight attendants, logistic planners, surveyors, and traffic engineers do? Here's an example of my wow outline. It says, I am here. Put your name, grade, school, who I am. Make a word collage. Use 5 adjectives to form a picture that describes who you are. Where I'm going. The next career path I want to explore is, and you fill in that blank. Some things I need to learn first to succeed. You can either research or look these items up. List at least 3 things that you need in order to reach your achieved career choice. I hope you enjoyed this reading of Information Technology, Exploring Career Pathways by Diane Lindsey Reeves.